May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be always acceptable in thy sight, my strength and my redeemer. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. He carried himself in his own hands. In such a phrase, St. Augustine captures the paradox and the poignancy of the Passion of Christ on this night, this very night. He carried himself in his own hands, who was delivered into the hands of his betrayers on this night, this very night. He carried himself in his own hands, who was delivered into the hands of his enemies on this night, this very night. He carried himself in his own hands, who is delivered into our hands this night, this very night. For we are his betrayers. That he carried himself in his own hands signifies something more than our betrayals and our enmities against God. It signifies the love that underlies the passion of Christ, the inner spring of that will that undergoes the passion of Christ, making provision for us out of our wills in disarray, out of our hearts of betrayal, out of our hands of cruelty and hate, the hands of sinful men and women, my hands and yours. A new commandment I have given you, Christ says, even as he carried himself in his own hands. For what he speaks, that he also does. The effective signs and tokens of his love are given to us in the sacrament of his body and blood. In anticipation of his passion, death, and resurrection, he institutes the holy means of the true and abiding presence of God with us. Such, we may say, is the mystery of the Holy Eucharist, by which we participate in the mystery of his passion and enter into the meaning of its purpose for us in our lives. The new commandment, the Novus Mandatum, hence Maundy Thursday, is to love one another even as he has loved us. How has he loved us on this night, this very night? His passion shows us that love, even as it shows to us on this night, this very night, the means of our continuing in his love for us. He carries himself in his own hands, who is betrayed by the hands of sinful men, and yet on this night, this very night, he identifies himself with us through the bread and wine, the signs and tokens of his body broken and blood outpoured, the signs of the very reality of his passion, which is nothing less than the reality of his love for us. And see how he loves us. He carried himself in his own hands and places himself in our hands. They are at once our hands of betrayal and our hands grateful receiving him, that his love and grace may be received in us. Maundy Thursday reveals the poignancy and the paradox of the Passion. Christ is betrayed, condemned, sentenced, scourged, mocked, and crucified. He is acted upon, and yet he acts. His love moves within all the actions that our hands visit upon him. His sacrifice and his service are about his love for us in his love for the Father in the bond of the Holy Spirit. A love that extends eternally and embraces the world in its hands outstretched and nailed to the cross. That active love, at once hidden and unseen, shows itself to us ever so poignantly and yet ever so powerfully when on this night, this very night, he carried himself in his own hands for us and for our salvation. He provides us with the sacrament of his love on this night, this very night in which he was betrayed. Behold our hands of betrayal, but even more, behold his hands of love. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another.